For sheer tropical splendor, the islands of Tahiti and Bora Bora stand alone. Hyper blue lagoons, white sand beaches, fish of every shape, size, and color, generous and welcoming people, a riot of fruits and flowers, and an ample dose of solitude all await the visitor here. They say Hawaii has more visitors in 10 days than Tahiti has in 1 year, so you might want to spend a few more hours flying here. The diving and snorkeling is some of the best in the world. The food is a mix of exotic local specialties and a Parisian bistro. And the sweet night air is alive with drums and dancing. 2,500 miles due south of its more popular cousins, the Hawaiian Islands, lie Bora Bora and Tahiti, part of the Society Islands in French Polynesia. Bora Bora's lagoon staggers the imagination. Coral ledges and reefs surround the lagoon. There's only one pass, or opening, in the reef to the sea. Divers and snorkelers can get up close and personal with all kinds of fish, sharks, dolphins, and whales. The water flows in at high tide and out again through the pass, keeping the lagoon flushed and creating a current you can ride as you explore the depths. An underwater encounter with a manta ray is a heart-stopping experience. These pterodactyls of the sea blot out the sun with their 15-foot wingspan. They are filter feeders, meaning they feed on plankton and fish larvae filtered from the water through their gills. Here in Anau, mantas come to mate and reproduce, as well as for a good cleaning. Small fish clean the mantas by feeding on the parasites and dead tissue. Back on board, we head for a strip of white sand on a little island in the lagoon. My little motu is smack in the middle of Bora Bora's famous lagoon that surrounds the volcanic island and is itself ringed by coral reefs teeming with marine life. While I'm serenaded by sea nymphs, lunch is cooked in a traditional pit oven where pork, fish, chicken, breadfruit, bananas, and sweet potatoes are steamed in layers.
I hope you guys hungry, huh? Wow.
The meat is wrapped in banana leaves, and a layer of vegetation is laid on the hot stones and over the meat. This little motu picnic really sums up the Polynesian experience, a mix of the ancient and exotic culture with the pleasures of the sun and sea. And coconuts drip from trees ripe for the taking, if you can get to them. To really get an idea of the topography of these islands, you gotta check them out by air. Millions of years ago, these volcanic islands rose from the ocean. Descendants of Southeast Asian seafarers settled them more than 1,000 years ago, and the Western world discovered them in the 1700s. Tahiti is the largest of the group of islands in French Polynesia known as the Society Islands. Tahiti is generally the point of arrival and departure for visitors. Bora Bora, located about 160 miles northwest of Tahiti, is easily the most beautiful, and the most popular resorts in Polynesia cluster around its azure lagoon. On tropical nights in paradise, everyone heads over to Bloody Mary's, the most famous restaurant at the end of the earth. Everyone who is anyone has been to Bloody Mary's. You wander in, select your fresh fish, and the cook throws it on the grill. The next day, I hop a flight to Tahiti. While Bora Bora is the picture-perfect lagoon resort escape, Tahiti offers French Polynesia's biggest city, great hiking, and wild coastlines, as well as some of the best surfing anywhere. Papeete is usually the first place visitors encounter, as the major airport is here. The city is lively, and the marketplace is the heart and soul of Papeete. In 1842, Tahiti and the surrounding islands became a protectorate of France. Both Tahitian and French are spoken in the Society Islands. But this is not Paris. Butchered French is welcomed, and English is spoken widely as well. It's Sunday in Papeete, and the local women don intricately decorated hats, and everyone meets at church. About half the population of French Polynesia is Protestant, and the service here is a mix of worship and music, Tahitian style. The interior of Tahiti is lush with deep ravines, mossy cliffs, and hidden patches of wild coast. You can drive around the island, tour it in a 4x4 vehicle, or fly over it. The steep volcanic peaks and sheltered lagoons represent a geology unique to the Society Islands. Death-defying surfers come to the place called Tiopu or Chopu for what is, in surfers' parlance, the heaviest wave in the world. Surfing contests are held here, and for those with the chops for Chopu, it's a thrill, but for mere mortals, it can be lethal. Back in Papeete, practice is on. Outrigger canoe races are all the rage here. Everyone prepares tirelessly for the Hawaii Ki Nui Va'a. A major sport event in Polynesia, this outrigger canoe race hits the lagoon every year in autumn, when for 3 days, more than 100 canoes race 94 miles between islands. It's show night here at the Intercontinental Resort Restaurant, and some of the best and most culturally authentic dancing happens here. Dances in Polynesia often were associated with war, and you can see the intensity and the vigor and raw energy in these dances. Another way to dine in Tahiti is to wander around the roulotte, which literally means wheels. These are food vans serving some of the best fare I've had so far. People often stop here for takeout to bring to the beach or to their bungalow. Sailing the waters around Tahiti and Bora Bora and the Society Islands is another angle on paradise. Scores of companies offer everything from lagoon cruises to longer adventure sailing between the islands. Typically, you can swim, snorkel, fish, and dine in style on these boats. You call the shots, stopping for a picnic on a motu or an adventure on shore. The explorers from Europe found the idea of returning to their cold gray homes difficult. It's hard to blame the mutineers. Once you've been to Tahiti and Bora Bora, it's impossible to forget sunset from a sailboat, the perfectly clear water lapping at your bungalow, the marine world below, and the panorama from above. The spirit of the Tahitians mirrors the beauty of the islands. There's everything and nothing to do, and all that blue to contemplate. Like the sailors who first stepped on these sweet shores, visitors to Polynesia are stunned, seduced, and then saddened to even think about going home. For sheer tropical splendor, the islands of Tahiti and Bora Bora stand alone. Hyper-blue lagoons of solitude all await the visitor here. They say Hawaii has more visitors in 10 days than Tahiti has in 1 year, so you might want to spend a few more hours flying here. The diving and snorkeling is some of the best in the world. The food is a mix of exotic local specialties and a Parisian bistro. And the sweet night air is alive with drums and dancing. White sand beaches, fish of every shape, size, and color, generous and welcoming people, a riot of fruits and flowers, and an ample dose